On July 6, 1943, Josei Toda and his mentor, Sunisaburo Makiguchi, were arrested and charged with violating the peace preservation law and detained as thought criminals. Despite the harsh conditions in prison, Mr. Toda refused to recant his faith. He continued to devote himself to chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo and studying deeply the Lotus Sutra and Nichiren Daishonin's writings. Through repeated readings of these texts, sitting in his cell chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Mr. Toda experienced a profound realization.
I, Nichiren, have inscribed my life in Sumi ink. So believe in this Gohonzon with your whole heart. The Buddha's will is the Lotus Sutra, but the soul of Nichiren is none other than Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
The scroll we refer to as the Gohonzon is a physical representation of our enlightened life potential and not any external deity. As Nichiren taught, the real Gohonzon is within ourselves. He inscribed the scroll as a tool for us to reveal the indestructible happiness we already have within us. Though believers often praise the Gohonzon's power, the Gohonzon does not bestow benefit. Rather, benefits arise as a natural result of a believer's faith and practice.
Through worldly troubles may arise. Never let them disturb you. No one can avoid problems, not even sage or worthies.
The fundamental goal of Buddhism is the realization of peace and happiness of humankind. I can either tell myself it's too hard, I don't think I'll be able to do it, or yes, I can do this. Let me add it. Only a fine line separates the two, but I'll tell you one thing. If I work like crazy, I'll come to it. I'll come to display capabilities I never knew I had, potentials that I always possessed but never tapped. Even if a person of wisdom who embraces the correct teachings exists, how could he propagate it without lay believers who supported him?
Those upholding this sutra should be prepared to meet difficulties. It is certain, however, that they will quickly attain the unsurpassed Buddha's way. To continue means to cherish Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, and the most important principle of all of the Buddhas of the three existences.
To Nichiren Daishonin, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo was far more than the title of a Buddhist text. It is the expression of the ultimate truth to which he was enlightened. It is the true entity of all phenomena, the Buddha nature inherent in all life, sentient and insentient. Chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo enables us to fuse our lives with the ultimate law and immediately manifest enlightenment. In translation, the word Nam derives from the Sanskrit text and means the devotion of body and mind. Myoho means mystic law. Myo meaning mystic because it's difficult to discern. And ho means all phenomena, saying that all phenomena and the ultimate law are one. Renge literally means lotus flower, which indicates the simultaneity of cause and effect. This is because the lotus produces seeds and flowers at the same time. As we experience Buddhahood more and more, the entire network of causes and effects, which makes up our individual karma, is dramatically transformed. Another important feature of the lotus flower is that it blooms from muddy swamps, showing that beauty can emerge from the darkest of places. Kyo means sutra, or teaching, also interpreted to mean sound. Kyo originally meant the warp of a length of cloth, summing up the image of continuity. Buddhist teachings are passed on through past, present, and future. Therefore, it also means eternity of life. Literally, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo could be translated as devotion to the sutra of the lotus blossom of the wonderful law.
Since I'm willing to bring these troubles upon myself, when others verify me, I will not rebuttal them. Even if I want to rebut them, there is too many of them. And even when they strike me, I feel no pain, for I have been prepared for the blow from the very beginning.
This I will state, let the gods forsake me, let all precautions assail me, still I will give my life for the sake of the law.
When others hate me, the fact that you have placed even a bit of trust in me cannot be ascribed to the karma of your present life alone. Surely we must share some bond from a previous existence.
If a person cannot manage to cross a moat 10 feet wide, how can he cross one that is 100 or 200 feet?
I will teach you how to become a Buddha easily. Teaching another something is the same as oiling the wheels of a cart so that they can turn evenly through its heavy, even though it's heavy. As a floating a boat on water, so it moves ahead easily. The way to become a Buddha easily is nothing special. It is the same giving water to a thirsty person in a time of drought, or providing fire for a person freezing in cold. Or again, it is the same as giving another something that is one of a kind, or even offering something as aims to another, even at the sake of one's life. Be it as it may, committed yourself to the Lotus Sutra. I have faith in this teaching. You must only believe in them yourselves, but also encourage others to do the same, so that you may save those who were your parents in your present existence.
The strong and steadfast power of faith is precious indeed.
Making possible every effort for the sake of your next life. What is most important is that by chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo alone, you can attain Buddhahood. There will be no doubt depending on the strength of your faith. To have faith in the base of Buddhism, Buddhism is like an ocean that one can only enter with faith.
All these things I have done solely to repay my debt I owe to my parents, the debt I owe to my teacher, the debt I owe to the three treasures of Buddhism, and the debt I owe to my country. For their sake, I have been willing to destroy my body and to give my life, though as it turns out, I have not been put to death after all.
Those who chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, the title of the Lotus Sutra, are even without understanding its meaning, realize not only for the hearts of the Lotus Sutra, but as a main core or essential principle of Buddha's lifetime teaching. I entrust you with the propagation of Buddhism in your province.
In the end, Mr. Toda realized that the Buddha is life itself. This awakening brought a deeper awareness of the preciousness of each individual life and gave him a sense of immense courage in the face of his imprisonment. On July 3, 1945, Mr. Toda was released from prison. To prove to the world the greatness of his late mentor, Mr. Toda immediately set out to rebuild the Soka Gakkai. On May 3, 1951, Mr. Toda was inaugurated second Soka Gakkai president. While the organization had just 3,000 members, Mr. Toda and his most trusted disciple, Daisaku Ikeda, developed the Soka Gakkai into one of Japan's most significant lay Buddhist associations, setting the stage for its growth into a dynamic worldwide grassroots movement. In 1957, Mr. Toda addressed some 50,000 youth at a stadium in Yokohama, making an impassioned call for the abolition of nuclear weapons. A year later, on March 16, 1958, he officially entrusted the future of Kosen-rufu to the youth. Mr. Toda struggled against the cruel oppression of the military government and stood alone in a war-ravaged, defeated Japan. To build a citadel of peace for all humanity, he took up the cause of Kosen-rufu in exact accord with the will of Nichiren Daishonin, bringing the Daishonin's Buddhism to life in an age when it was on the verge of perishing. He dove into anguish, suffering masses of people, talking with them, sharing their laughter and their tears. He lit the torch of happiness for 750,000 households. Mr. Toda died peacefully on April 2, 1958. That same day, cherry trees burst into bloom, just as the seeds of the mystic law he had planted in the lives of countless ordinary people had begun to bear fruit. In closing, I would like to share a gosho. When the skies are clear, the ground is illuminated. Similarly, when one knows the Lotus Sutra, one understands the meaning of all worldly affairs.